All right, so you farmed all season, you tracked your labor, you know how much you spent in labor on a total, you know how much money you collected within your sales, but you didn't really record it, right? So without recording it, you can't really take that to the bank and go get financing or be able to show your operation. There's no financial story to your operation. And if you work with the USDA or the NRCS or the FSA, all of those government backed loaning programs and grant programs, if they can't see your records, they're not giving you money. So, this is something that I created for our blackberry farm that I found was just the easiest way for me to understand my operation and to showcase my operation. And I chose to make it on a day-to-day basis, right? So think like your days go down this way, and then your picking, like what you harvest, is traveling to the right, and then what it cost to harvest that is traveling to the right, and then what you were able to sell that is traveling to the right. Now, this has been endlessly helpful for me, specifically for this year, because we had awful weather in New Jersey where there were so many days that we couldn't pick. As you can see, there's all of these zeros and non-applicable dates, which these are all normal picking days for us, like in any other season. But we had a lot of extreme weather events that really kept us from being able to take advantage of the fruit that was on the plant. So ultimately, I'm going to walk you through creating this for yourself, but I want to give you a little bit more of an understanding on how it works. Okay, so let's just use this down here. So we got this day here. So this day was 86 degrees, prime picking day. We were able to pick 246 crates, which is roughly 1,107 pounds of fresh grade blackberries. If you do anything with food safety and a food safety audit or certifier wants you to record where that specific package came from. So this came in block 2 of my farm, in between these rows. This is the variety that it was, and this is the lot code that we put on the crates for that day. So we use a Julian day, which if you type in 182 Julian day, you'll know that it was July 1st, 2026. And then you have the B2, which is block 2, row 1 through 137. Anyway, then this is where the good stuff starts. This stuff right here is the most important thing. So first you have to figure out what it costs for crate, for your labor, and then your packaging. So say your labor, what you pay laborers to pick each crate. For me, that number's $5.60. So that means I have to take $5.60 and I have to multiply it with 246. And that 246 remember, is how many crates we had, which brings us to $1,377. Now that just gets stored there because that's only one of your input costs, right? So then it brings you to here, which is your packaging cost. What makes up your packaging? You have your actual box, then you have the packages that the fruit is in, and that's not always the case with all things, but it is the case with your blueberries, your blackberries, your raspberries, your kiwis, things like that. The number that I used for last year was $2.65 or $2.65, and that cost dramatically changed this year. So when we go through making a new one, I'll use that new cost. But for right now, let's just use this $2.65. Now, $2.65 multiplied by our crate amount. $2.65 multiplied by our crate amount of 246 brings us to $6.51. Now, we had We also had 4 inspectors on board that day that are checking the fruit and just overseeing general labor and maintenance of like what's going on at the farm. So we pay those persons $19.25. So if I had 4 of them and they had a total of 46 hours, right? I then multiply that 46 by 1925 and it brings me to 885. Now I know exactly how much that day cost us. That day cost us $2,915 because that's our harvest labor, our packaging, and our operating laborers, like overseers. Now, I didn't sell the fruit that day. I sold the fruit the very next day for pickup. So when you look, I ended up selling that fruit for $5,268, which is pretty great, right? Because then I know that that day and what we did that day was efficient enough to make a profit for the day. And that's the most important thing. And you have to be able to show that to your banks, to yourself, to justify what you're doing, to see if you need to save money somewhere, to see if you need to start selling your product for more money, whatever it is. That's the only way that you can start to figure out those bigger term issues is by understanding what you're spending on a day-to-day basis. Now, this, like, right, it says like profit, right? Which is, from these, this is kind of like an ongoing profit thing. But anyway, say if I just use the day for example, 5,268 minus 2,915. So just on that day, we made $2,300. Now, that does not include any of the other ongoing costs, right? I did not put them in this sheet. That's a whole separate thing. We'll worry about that later. First, you have to figure out just your harvest. You have to record your harvest. You have to record your costs to pick that harvest and pack that harvest, and then you have to record your sales. Those are 3 really important things. Obviously, you have, like, outside of that, you have your operating expenses, like your fuel, your off-season maintenance labor, your taxes, your electricity, your maintenance schedule, your parts, your materials that break, your office supplies, whatever else, right? And those are obviously going to be tens of thousands of dollars. It's the only way they can be. And then also any loans that you have. Let's go through a new empty sheet and let's walk through it so you can create one for yourself. All right, so we're in week 1. Let's just put that in. I don't know where the 1 is here or why nothing's typing here. There we go. Okay. It's week 1. Let's see. Today is August 25, 2026. It's about 75 degrees Fahrenheit with sun. Okay. My pickers just picked, just for easy math, 200 clamshells. 200 crates full of 12 half-pint clamshells. Now, that's roughly, if I do 200 times 4.5, that's 900. So we have 900 pounds. And I'm writing this out here because your crop insurance and the FSA, they really prefer to know what you are doing in poundage also. So it was block 1 and row 1 through 37. That's our Cotto and Vaughn variety. Now, listen, this layout works for every crop. So it doesn't matter that it's blackberries or not, but The specifics matter. So you recording your specific details is what matters. Now, the lot code, I don't know what the Julian date for today is. Let's find out. Oh, jeez. All right, we got 2/6. What? Okay, day of the year. So we got 2/37. So 2.37. Oop, nope, sorry, just 237. And then it goes block 1 and then R1-37. Now, I like to put the date here again because as this stuff expands, it's just a lot easier to always come back to the date. Like when you try to scan, like say you're like working over here and you got to scan all the way back to this date, it's likely that it'll get screwed up. Okay, so my picking labor cost for my crates is $5.60 per crate. So I'm going to put that number right up here because you're going to reference it over and over again when you start doing the formations. Now, our packaging cost. So I think we should take a second to just go through your packaging cost to really understand that. So our packages, so first we have our box. The box is the box. For us, that number, I'm going to do it up here. So we have our box. Now our box is 0.7169. And then we have our packaging. And our packaging, so I just looked at my invoice. So, and you should look at your invoice to understand it, right? So they charged us $1,486.08 per 8,256 boxes. So that roughly comes out to 18 cents a package. Now, if I'm at 18 cents a package, I have 12 of those packages in each box, right? So you have to remember to multiply that appropriately. Now, that number, 18 cents times 12, that comes to $2.16 for me. And then we have our labels. Can't forget those. My labeler, we just paid, that's not the right stat on there. Jeez. Give me 1 second. Let me look this up. Okay, so I just looked up my label cost. So we bought 185,000 labels at $44.21, so $4,421.60. So that roughly comes out to 2 cents, basically 0.23. So if I take 0.023 times 12, that means every crate we're spending we're spending 27 cents. I don't know why that just happened. Hold on, my decimal point needs to come over. Sometimes the formatting gets a little weird here, so if this ever happens to you, you got to change your numbers. There you go. Okay, so we're at 0.28. Now, here's a little tip. If you hit the equal sign and go add, you click that. Now, it does that little parentheses. You click on this one, you hit comma, click on this one, hit comma, click on this one, add the other parenthesis to close it out. We got a not applicable. Great. Why? Wrong number of arguments to add except but got there. You can't add 3? I don't understand. Oh my gosh. Equals add. Oh, you can only add the sum of 2 numbers. Okay, so let's do these 2 first. Close it out. So we got, so just from packaging and the box, we're at $3. Now we get to equal add. We get to add a little plus, and then we go here, and then we hit enter. And then let's come back to our numbers. All right, so we're at $3.15 a box. Now, we'll take that $3.15 and we'll put it here. Now, did you have any other person like working there? Like, did you have someone driving the tractor? Did you have someone stacking crates? Whatever that was. So maybe it was 4 people. Maybe it was 2 people. I had 4. Now, they usually will work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I believe that's 10 hours, right? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 10 hours. Okay, so 4 times 10 is 40, so we have 40 total hours. You have to ask yourself, how much do you pay them per hour? You'll put that right here. Mine's $19.25 because we're in New Jersey. And then I'm going to add this up. So I know that 40 hours, and look, here's how you multiply. You hit equals, you type in multiply, and then you click on the 40, you hit the comma, you click on this 1925, you close the parenthesis. We close the parentheses, we are not going to autofill. So now I know that my machine operators and my stackers and my prep guys, that cost me $770 that day, right? Now let's figure out our picking cost. So we know that we have to multiply the crate number and the clamshell. So we write equal, multiply, we go 560, which is their picking rate, times how many they actually picked. We close the parentheses. We do not want this autofill for right now. So $1,120, and then we have our packaging cost of $3.15. So we need to multiply those 2 numbers again. So we equal sign, multiply, enter, first number, comma, total of clamshells, close it off. All right, now we're gonna add all this stuff up. So we had equals, add, sum of 2 numbers. So first let's do the picking labor cost, comma, and then packaging cost, close it out. We can do a little plus sign and then add our third cost here and hit enter. So I know that I spent $2,520 picking 200 flats, right? That's what you have to figure out. You can't just like try to like add it up in your head. You have to know the exact number. Now, let's figure out how much we could sell it for. You know, the season has varying costs the whole time, right? We're in an open market commodity. That's what we're selling, right? I know this past year, my price fluctuated anywhere from $24 a flat, which is amazing, $28 a flat to like our smaller vendors, which is really great. But all the way then down to $16 a flat, $13 a flat when there was too much production coming from Driscoll's, right? And that's just something that you have to know, because I know if when I hear that, I'm not going to pick that much. You just can't. So we sold those 200 crates for, let's just use $20. 200 times 20 equals 4,000. So we have 4,000 in total sales. Now, profit before farm operating expense. So we have to subtract these two things. So I go equals minus the difference of two numbers. So I take this first one minus the total sales, and no, it's the wrong way. Don't do it that way. Okay, so you do minus, you got the little parentheses. First, you bring it to the total sales minus your actual cost. And then we have a $1,480 profit for the day. That stuff's huge. Now, you have to do it every day. You just have to. And if you want your local FSA agency and your local bank and your vendors and anyone else that is trying to do business with you or you need something from, if you show them this, they will be extremely impressed. Like, you have no idea. They will view you and look at you so differently, and they will be happy to work with you because you know your numbers. And you have to know your numbers if you want to grow a real business. So I didn't have any experience in Excel prior to these farm operations, and this was kind of me just learning as I go and trying to create something that was visually easy to understand, because whenever I get Excel documents from like finance people, it's so confusing because it's not laid out in layman's terms, and I found that this is really laid out well and easy to understand. So try this out. If you need help, let me know. If you need other explanations, let me know. Yeah, I think this stuff's awesome. It takes your farm to the next level. So make sure you do it. If you have questions, just ask. See you on the next one.